Hey, this is Cameron, and welcome to the chair log. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Another subdued chair log. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm in the middle of moving right now. Or actually, kind of. I'm not moving quite yet, but I'm moving all my girlfriend's crap into my apartment because our leases don't overlap as they should. And because I'm moving to a college town, all the leases are set for, like the same time. So basically, everything's in boxes right now except for the little office that I have right now, so that's what I've been doing all day. And yeah, I'm just taking a little break from that to make a video because, I want to have some videos prepared. Yeah, expect the next couple weeks or so. I'm probably going to be uploading every other day, like on that schedule. Daily uploads might be a little tough going forward. We'll see. As I mentioned, this is a chair log. I'm not practicing, so we're going to take this time to answer some comment questions. I think that'll be pretty fun to do. Just taking a break from the moving, like I said. Yeah, before we get into the questions, any more small talk to make? As you may know if you've been diligently watching, it's been BWV997. It's been Lobe de Trenin. Lots of you have mentioned that I'm not pronouncing it right. Lobe de Trenin. I don't care. It's basically done at this point. I think that was featured in the last practice log I did. Feeling pretty good about it. What else do we got? Yeah, there's just been so much going on. It's been a little rough keeping up with the practice. I imagine that'll get better after this weekend and into the week, because things will calm down for another 2 weeks or so, and then we move again. Oh, there's gonna be so much stuff in my apartment, too. Hey, let's see what you guys are talking about, huh? Oh, man, I'm looking through all your questions, and they're all just terrible. I can't answer any of this. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you. It's everyone else. They're just like, I don't know. What do I even say to this? So, here's one that was posted 7 days ago from the filming of this video. And this is from my Rick Beato's CLUELESS video that I posted, and your comment is regarding my spread triads explanation, which I'll go ahead and pull out my guitar because I'm not going to answer your question, but I'm going to show you something that's kind of cool. So you think the best explanation for what a spread triad is to refer to the overtone series and producing flageolets, I don't know that word, on a single string? I don't know if it's the best explanation, but it was just something to add to Rick Beato because I like providing why things are as they are and not just this is how it is, don't ask any questions. Basically what he said is that it's a triad, and you just take the third and move it up an octave. And that's a spread triad, which is very true. That's exactly what a spread triad is. And I added to that, because this is kind of a fun fact that's attached to spread triads, that I always tend to mention when talking about spread triads. A spread triad is just showing how the notes of a triad appear off of a single tone, the fundamental, in the harmonic series. And what I mean by that is if we take E, for example, our lowest note on the guitar, the harmonics that we get in order are the octave, the fifth, which is one of the notes in the spread triad. And then, next is the octave again. That's an octave, that doesn't give us anything new. The next note is the major third, so we get a spread triad. It's kind of cool, which is, it's all those notes, right? So it stands to reason maybe we like spread triads so much because they do sound good. That's like how that super famous Bach cello suite Prelude opens up. It's this big ol' spread triad. Like that thing. Maybe we like it so much because it's just highlighting notes in the harmonic series that we still hear. Because those notes, we still hear that. Like that is in there. And on this guitar in particular, the third is very audible. You can hear it there, right? So I like to bring that up when talking about spread triads because it's just a little why explanation. It's not just simply moving the third up an octave. That's something that actually happens when you play a single note. It's probably not particularly helpful for anything. I don't know. It's just interesting. I'm a reaction YouTuber and I'm trying to add some extra stuff, Maybe go find a reaction YouTuber where when Rick Beato talks about spread triads, they're just like, yeah, that's a spread triad. I'm adding, okay? Now, you said, just one question. You are certainly aware of the existence of minor, augmented, and diminished spread triads, right? Yes, I'm also aware of those triads in different inversions, too. Those are different, too, that don't show up in the harmonic series. I know, right? So how would you explain these by picking overtones on a single string? This is interesting. And I'm just going to talk about minor today, because that's sort of the antithesis of major. Maybe not actually. You could argue diminished is, I guess, because it's I don't know. I'm just saying that we have major and we have minor, and they're pretty distinct from each other. Major, minor. And in our Western sort of major bias culture that we live in, major is what? It's happy. Versus minor is sad. And why is that? Well, if you listen to any lecture, like the Bernstein lectures or the lecture series that I'm going over on my channel that I'm reacting to, you should watch the one that I just posted. I'm going to post another one probably after this video. They will tell you that it's cultural, and there are instances of other cultures, like particularly in Jewish music, where there are minor melodies that are pretty lively and happy, and they're known by the people whose culture that is as happy melodies, which usually, for everyone else, minor melodies, it's not usually associated with happiness. And that's what they'll say. Now, I think there is an undeniable crunchiness with a minor triad. I mean, just listen to this, right? I'll do it spread versus minor. There's a crunchiness to it, and you can really clearly see it on this guitar in particular, and I'll show you, because we have our E. We have the notes of the spread triad that show up in the harmonic series. When I play an E by itself, that major spread triad is in that note somewhere. There is a really subtle harmony going on when I play this one single note. There is major harmony, especially with that third ring out on this guitar. I mean, just listen to that. It's clear as day. I hear it so much more than this one. Like, it's just so there. So if I were to play a spread triad and flat the third to make it minor, G sharp, and we made it flat. And why it might be crunchy is because we have a G natural, and we also have our G sharp ringing from our fundamental E. And we hear this. That is sounding in our spread minor triad. It's crunchier. It doesn't match the harmonics that are in the lowest note, so it sounds crunchy. Now, again, once you start inverting the spread triads, this all falls apart, but it's just a little interesting tidbit to maybe explain major and minor sound the way they do to us. I know that most of it's cultural and it's just conditioning. You can just as easily teach your children that minor is happy, and they'll grow up just always thinking that minor is happy. Some people you meet, you'd think that's how they grew up, am I right? But yeah, I mean, there is something to that. Like, the minor spread triad is crunchier than the major spread triad. I can already hear you now. I know what you're about to say, which I fixed it for when I was doing this example. I tuned my G string a little bit flat because that G sharp that you're hearing is actually, like, I don't know how many cents flat exactly, but it is flat. Yeah, like, here's a perfect G sharp versus this one. It's subtle. You might need a Jacob Collier ear to hear that, but it is a little bit flat. So what that means is, even when I played the E spread triad, that G sharp is technically still rubbing a bit, but it's not rubbing as much as a G natural would. It's closer. Listen to that in there. You hear it. Hopefully you can hear that in there. The minor is clearly way more crunchy than the major. It's just kind of cool, and we do have a major bias in society, at least in the one that I live in. I don't know, I feel like there is a little bit of justification for it. It is truly the default harmony that the universe just kind of gives you when you just have one note. Of course, when you have just one note, there is technically no harmony. But in the real world, where we have strings with harmonics, depending on how loud the harmonics come out, there is harmony, actually. And that's a whole other thing that I've seen a lot. Like, in those videos where I talk about how tones don't appear very often, like in nature, and then people will leave comments like, birds sing in tones and animals sing in tones, and it's like, I'm talking about non-animal things, just tones that might happen. And the example I always give is a hollow tree where wind blows through it and it just would produce like a whistle or something. It's kind of cool that no matter when that tree existed, it could be at the very beginning of Earth, if that were to happen, where the wind blows through the tree, a major spread triad is literally sounding like in a measurable way. With Rick's whole thing where he was trying to explain where he gets his spread triads from, and people would say that it was from that guitarist, I forget, and then Rick eventually says like, oh well, Bach used it the most. My answer, The tree, the prehistoric tree with wind is really where it came from. Or it just came from, like, just how things work. It just came from, like, the laws of physics and stuff. And like I said in that lecture series that we're watching, the guy covered Jewish music and how they have happy minor melodies. He also states, like how I've heard stated many times, how our major bias is just because of society. But, you know, I feel like there's something to it, too. I guess really how I would explain it then is not to say major is happier and minor is sad. I would just say major is more stable and minor is a little more tense. And that doesn't necessarily mean sad. Like, tension is kind of the best part of music. That's maybe why we prefer shredding and harmonic minor all the time. I think it's generally accepted that people prefer compositions in minor, and it's like more epic to do that because there's tension in it, and what I just explained there could maybe be a reason for some of that tension. Just stuff to think about. I'm gonna wrap this up here. The next video will be an actual reaction video in my normal style. I mean, this is just a chair log, you know the deal. These are gonna be happening more and more as I get busy with grad school and I don't have time to record a whole 25-minute reaction video. I'm gonna want to just record these little videos, so be sure to ask questions on this one. I'll maybe refer back to this video if you guys want any answers on anything. There's tons of questions. I kind of insulted your guys' comments. I know that there's tons of stuff, but it's just hard to find. So if you have any questions that you think would be fun to answer, post it on this video, and I'll be sure to screenshot those. Alright, let's go ahead and wrap this thing up, because I need to keep hacking and doing other stuff. So, you know, if you made it this far, be sure to subscribe and leave a like. Of course, guitar lessons, I'm not taking new students right now, but you can always reach out. I'm seeing your guys' emails, I am, and I might not reply to them. I'm really sorry. I'm hard to get a hold of, but if you do want to get a hold of me, live streaming. I've been slacking a bit on the live stream. It's because my life is a effing mess. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Of course, there's Rootin's Delight. Get your shirts before the next GFAs. Please, I expect to see some next year. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching this short little video. All right, and that's it. I'll see you in the next one.